Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Blue Dragon 5 here, with the pleasure of hosting a very old school and very fine selection of vintage Disney debates. Tonight's wonderful world of topics include Worst Package Film Short, Mary Blair's Greatest Contribution, and Best Opening Day Disneyland Attraction besides Jungle Cruise. Without further delay, let's grab a handful of pixie dust and think uplifting thoughts. And take the second star to the right and straight on till you hit the arena! In this corner, a newcomer from Toontown whose Disney knowledge is only rivaled by Leonard Maltin! Kaloo Kalay, joyous day, it's Phil Machi!
Hi.
And in the opposing corner, riding in on a unicycle with a vengeance, yet humming a catchy anthem for peace. The mountebank of Main Street, it's Jokers!
Hey guys, it's me.
And joining me on our animated panel, Tiki and Jacob Weil.
To signify man's achievements, I thought I got a signal.
Hi, everybody.
All right, that was a deep cut, y'all. That's what we in the business call a deep cut.
So,
Evan, did you get that joke?
or are you just keep going with his thing?
I did not know.
Really?
No,
Well,
explain it to me in great detail.
It's like a famous blooper. It's a famous blooper from the Disneyland broadcast.
Oh, I've never seen the Disneyland broadcast.
Walt's out in front of Tomorrowland. The shot just starts, and he's like, to signify man's achievements. Then he just like awkwardly pauses. I thought I got a signal. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing makes a joke funnier than explaining it in ad nauseum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
I like
Yes,
all my
hello.
jokes like broken down for me.
Yes.
Hello.
All right, welcome everybody. Of course, the wonderful folks in the comments. Should be a fun show. We got Aid March and Theme Park Priest. Woo!
Indeed.
Ed
So how's
March,
everyone doing?
Ed
Yeah,
March is a new one for me.
really? No, Aid March has been around before.
Aid March has been around, yeah.
I just don't recognize it.
Maybe
I think for the past month or so, he's one of our newer people.
All right.
it's always good to get some new blood. Speaking of which, welcome yet again, Phil.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is all going to be new to you here, so we hope the things are going to work out. Of course, returning Jokers.
Hi. I'm
Yeah.
returning.
How have things been?
Yeah, they've been good. Been doing
Okay.
fine.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
All
I've been training all week. I've been doing push-ups for this thing. You know, crunches.
Yeah, I've been doing practice debates into a mirror every night. It's gone pretty well. I've won a few of them.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. Let me go over the rules.
Did you ever lose to your reflection?
Sometimes, often.
Those Japanese mirrors.
Yes, Phil, you may not be aware of this. Joker's in Japan right now.
I am. I live in Japan. I am American. I am not Japanese.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
big in Japan.
That's fantastic. How big? Like, is it because we use? Is it because
No,
we
no,
use kilograms?
it was an '80s song reference. Again,
Oh,
it's
okay.
another deep cut.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Grand Canyon by the time we're done this episode.
so many obscure jokes.
Yeah. All right. Of course, you notice I didn't point out my Leonard Maltin reference. Just going for a deep cut there, but all right.
That wasn't that deep a cut. That one I
I
got.
think a lot of people are familiar with
Yeah.
Leonard Maltin.
Well, no, I meant it's
Yeah.
free. It's from Freakazoid. Remember the whole Leonard Maltin? But
Ow.
Oh, that is a deep cut. Holy cow!
anyway, so Tim Curry shouting Leonard Maltin and Freakazoid. But anyway,
It's
so
still Freakazoid really isn't that much of a deep cut.
all right,
anyway.
fine. It's a medium cut. We're gonna move on. Okay,
First
so
debate.
Wait,
All right, so
the debate tonight is how deep of a cut are we going with these
Yeah.
jokes? That's the debate.
all right, so butchery aside, let's just let me refresh folks that are new and joining us on the rules and how this is going to break down. So let's pay attention now. All right, very simple. We got 3 main rounds, in which you're going to reveal your pick as in what you have for your answer. We will give an opening statement, and then it's a fight to the finish. Okay, so Tink was busy, but we have the next best thing as our other little co-judge, R2D2. When it makes that sound, it's time for deliberation amongst our panel of judges, in which it basically will be kind of a 3-vote sort of thing. Whoever gets the most votes will get the point for the round. At the end of 3 rounds, we will offer both competitors, our coin function, which is optional in this case, the Disney Silver Dollar.
Yeah, another silver dollar.
Yeah, because it's old timey.
Are you gonna have a Mortal Kombat ending where it's like finish them?
It's kind of implied, but yeah. It's kind of with words, but yeah.
Look at that
So basically,
coin.
yeah. So here's okay. So the way the Disney Silver Dollar, the way it works is this will be offered to you at the end of 3 rounds. Both of you, we have the option. You don't have to flip it if you don't want to, but if you'd like to flip it, it lands heads. You could get a point, a free point. You can do whatever you want with it. You get a free point all yourself. Lands tails. I'm afraid not so lucky. You're at risk of losing a point. Complete opposite of what I just said. All right. So, also hidden in one of our rounds is something I like to call Donald's Dime. So, Donald's Dime basically will be offered to the winner of the round that is revealed. And could be any of the 3 rounds, which will reveal at the end of the round whether it's in it or not, or it could be in one of the speed rounds. So again, that one's just going to be offered to the winner of whatever round it's found in. That's like a bonus coin only for the winner. Okay, so now I will warn you, both of you. There is a penalty phrase this game. It's a new feature we've added to our game. So the penalty phrase is a phrase that whoever says this unknown, it's either a word, a phrase, a name, could be any of those things, could be more than one, could be changed per round. Only Jacob full on knows for sure. Tiki has a good idea, but Jacob knows full on, and he'll be on the lookout for whoever says that word first once we get started. If they say that word, again, a penalty will be incurred, and we'll reveal whether the word has been said at the end of the rounds. Might not even be said. Who knows? But if the word is said, the person that said it will incur a penalty in which no good things happen to them. But we'll see how that goes.
And the penalty's been
life.
different every time. So go.
My goal in life is to find out what this word is and say it as often as possible.
Yeah. You usually find it somehow, some way.
Right. Okay. Let's see. What was I going on with? Oh, right. Okay. So the speed. Anyways, of course. Then after all of our main round shenanigans, we will enter the speed round, which let's just say is full of surprises, and we'll be taking audience questions, and the audience, of course, they'll be able to judge the questions that they submit. And that again, we're not going to just be going with the 3-judge thing throughout the speed round. Basically, we'll kind of throw it to all sorts of people, or people submit questions. They will judge how well you've argued it. Anywho,
Someone just left.
Yeah, looks like it. So the first, again, name of the game, first to 5 points wins. You understand these rules as I've explained them to you both here this fine, nostalgic evening.
Mostly.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay, so let's cue the
Are we being
randomizer.
timed?
Not yet, only in the speed round. You're going to be timed in the speed round, not in the main round.
The main round can end at any point, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know when the main round's basically, again, like when you hear R2D2, that's then you know, like you don't know what he's like the Damocles. He's just waiting to close on you. He's just waiting to plop you up from there.
Damocles.
Yeah, that guy.
He's the bell, basically.
Essentially. Okay, so we're gonna now the randomizer Phil is gonna tell us who's going first for the duration of the main round. That'll be the assigned order just for the main round. Okay.
Wait, why wouldn't you just use the coin flip app for that?
Well, we could, but this is kind of there before the coin, so it's kind of more of a throwback.
Literally.
Yeah,
it's outdated technology.
Yeah. Just makes the coin a little bit more special. Okay, so Phil's going first because he said something. All right. No, okay, that's just fate.
And it was Mainly it was also back when we had at least 3 people competing at once.
Yeah, that was the main reason.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We've streamlined, but we're kind of lazy. So
You
yeah.
need to put that random.org in quotes because I'm starting to doubt it.
Oh no, that's.
Anyway.
Regular, we're gonna need the randomizer again.
No, it's
Tiki,
fine.
how many debates have you been on for, Tiki?
Tiki, just keep it up just in case.
Okay, I'm just making sure there's no speed round questions we might possibly use it for.
Don't you think I'd loop you in, Mr. Co-Judge, before we?
Okay, yay! I can soothe my OCD by closing one of the tabs. All
I
right.
think you might have pushed. You didn't push an extra button, did you?
No.
Okay,
Tiki.
we're all good then.
Open up Spies in Disguise right now.
Oh my God, you guys can see those.
Why? Yes.
Yeah,
Why?
I
I was
see that.
wondering why is that always there? It's been there for like 5
Noticed it.
podcasts. I'm wondering why.
I think the better question is, why is that the movie you have bookmarked?
I
It's
know.
his favorite movie.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh God, I watched that movie specifically to do an intentionally bad armchair Imagineering project out of it.
And then you fell in love.
And then I never bothered to take it off of my bookmarks.
It's perfect.
Well, you
know
also
what
have
we're gonna
you also
do?
have new tab as a bookmark, which is confusing because that's the plus
Just in
sign is
case.
for that.
Just in case.
I never use my bookmarks, so
No, that's
Oh.
fair.
As you see, folks, it's going to be a kind of a wacky, rambly episode of Disney debates. So just buckle up. Okay.
like this homepage CS550A. I haven't been in college in fucking years. I doubt that link even works anymore.
Oh my god, that's great. Anyway, first round.
Round numero uno.
Okay.
That's number
So-
1 in Spanish.
Yes.
Thank you for that, jokers.
I am an English teacher. I'm here to help.
Thank you for that translation.
All right. So
So
we all.
he lives in Japan, so naturally he must know Spanish.
I do.
Well, of course,
That was one
Jacob.
of the
That's how it
requirements.
works.
So, Dragon, do we want this this color for the banner?
This is why I wish we had these meetings on time. Let's. You know what, Jacob? How do you think it looks?
Yeah, it goes with the color scheme.
Yeah, it's kind of black and white-esque.
We're safe. Okay.
All right.
All right.
And look at that. We've got one of those other random freaking Russian bots in the comments. Hey, Russian bot.
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
wondering what was going on with that.
Well, we're assuming
We've
Russian. It might
had
be-
them, Evan. They've been creeping in.
It
Means
could
you're
be Chechen
popular.
for all we know. It might not be Russian.
I just, if it's a bot for some reason, I just assume it's Russian. I don't know.
That's
We
a
don't
little
want to
ridiculous.
profile
You
bots.
say it could be Chechen?
All right, guys.
Don't you mean
All
like
Anyway, so we've all seen at least one package film at some time in our lives. There have been a lot of great shorts. There have also been some not so great. That begs the question, what is the worst short to come out of a package film? So basically, I'm looking for what's the clunker and why. So Phil, what did you say?
I mean, I'm going to start off by saying, look, the name "Blame It on the Samba" blame is in the name, so I'm going to blame that film for being the worst of the packaged film shorts on that alone. But beyond that, I'm going to say that short is such a strange, trippy thing. You've got Donald and
Phil, we
Jose.
just need the name right now. We'll get to the rest of that when we come back.
Oh, I'm
That
sorry. I
matters.
thought you
Yeah,
see, you didn't tell me how much time I. Okay, yes.
well,
blame it on-
you're not being timed in the main round. Just say the thing, and then we'll come back to your salient
Sorry.
stuff you were on. It's
Damn it,
okay. It's your
please.
first time. It's okay. It's okay.
Damn it, please.
Okay.
Damn,
Anyway, Jokers.
so this is Blame It on the Samba. And
Yeah, mine is Bongo from Fun and Fancy Free.
All right, Phil, go. Go with
All right,
exactly what you were starting with.
You
Just
heard
now.
my
Do
first
that
part,
again.
which is the word "blame it" is in the name, so I think that's reason enough. But no, it's a very strange short. You've got this little crazy bird in the middle, but you can see there between Donald and Jose, and I get it. He's an agent of chaos, but the problem with that short is it makes no sense, and it's downright annoying because the beginning, this bird is trying to usher the other two birds into his restaurant, and he's being very concerned about them ordering from his menu. And that's where the story stops. The rest of the short is just this bird trying to terrorize Donald and Jose and of course the human singing performer whose name is escaping me at the moment. But the point is, he's just this crazy agent of chaos, and there's no point to the short. It's just ridiculousness. That to me is worthy of it being annoying enough to be in the worst category.
Okay. All right. Jokers.
Looks like I win.
It's
Sorry, I
Jokers,
forgot I was muted. I usually
Oh,
mute.
okay,
Sorry.
let's just all right, let's try it again.
Oops.
Jokers.
Point to Phil.
Just say everything you were saying, just do it all over again.
Yeah, I can do it. I like
Opening
saying
points were
sentence.
so strong. Jokers was just like, well, fuck, I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
A
no.
little stupefied. We'll see if Jokers can come back from it.
Yeah.
Drop that mic.
I-
And it's never picked up again.
All right.
No, I just think that Bongo is a very bland and forgettable short. In what is otherwise a pretty good package feature. I love the rest of Fun and Fancy Free. It's just Bongo, just nothing really happens, and I can never remember. I like honestly for like a decade I forgot it was even in this movie. So I picked it. I didn't pick it. Pergram picked it, but I picked it because I just think it's very forgettable. Yeah.
Do I get a chance to rebut?
Well,
No, that's the end of the debate. They pick now.
Really?
No, we do the real debate now.
This is what's called hazing the new guy with mind games. Apparently, this is a new practice we don't usually do, but yeah, that's
I'm going
apparently
crazy.
Okay, no, in all seriousness, yes, this is so you're gonna fight it out now, Phil. So basically, it's both of you are just gonna have at it, kind of make your points until you hear the bell. Essentially, it's against each other here. So this is where now you get into like full on rebuttals and
Well,
stuff. and
Bongo at
arguments.
least has a love story in it. I think some pretty impressive like animation with him on a log at some point. But like, at least there's a beginning, middle, and an end to it.
I mean, I would argue that Blame It on the Samba has more impressive animation because they integrate the live action elements and it's a bit more abstract. So I think it's more impressive because of that.
You think it has better animation because of live action elements?
No, I'm just saying that it's more technically impressive because of that, but not necessarily only because of that. I do think that it has like I think they do more with the medium than Bongo does. Bongo's just like any other Disney short, and like the story's a love story, but so is like so many other Disney shorts. I just think it's pretty bland and forgettable. Bongo isn't really that good of a character. He's fine, I guess. The girl bear is fine, I guess. But the characters in Blame It on the Samba, except for the live action girl, are pretty memorable. Like the bird, especially. I forget the name because it's very Spanish.
The weird thing about the character in Blame It on the Samba is that bird is annoying. It is like a deranged Woody Woodpecker spinoff.
I mean, that's kind of the point of it. I don't personally.
Eriquan bird.
Thank you.
And
Eric
Donald
Robert.
doesn't even get a chance to really be Donald. He sort of takes super backseat. He doesn't even really dance very well. He just sort of like is there.
He's pretty central, though. I think he's dealing with the bird. He dances with the girl. Like he definitely does stuff. Like I personally, I really like the Eriquan bird. Obviously, he's annoying, but he's supposed to be. I think he plays as a really good foil for Donald. Where Bongo is just kind of like a similar aesthetic to Dumbo, and it doesn't really do anything new.
I have this issue with characters that are supposed to be annoying, and that doesn't mean that we end up liking them, if that makes any sense. Like, I agree, he was supposed to be, and you know what? They succeeded.
I mean, I think that's just a fundamental difference in the way we perceive the character, because he was annoying, but I also liked him. And I do think it I do think that there's something to say with how much longevity this character has had, oddly, weirdly. Because like he's been showing up as recently as like 3 years ago, the Three Caballeros series. Like
Wait.
he's a fairly what?
He was this bird in the middle was used in the new series?
Yeah.
Like as a quick one-off, or
No, it's like a character. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes. He was like pretty not central, but he appeared pretty frequently, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, we're not confusing him with the third of the Three Caballeros, then, are we?
No.
Okay. Wow, I did not know that. Well,
Yeah, like he definitely shows up and he's definitely recognized. So I think that says something to the character where Bongo doesn't really show up in anything. The only thing I can think of Bongo showing up in relatively recently is I remember there being a Vinylmation made for him.
see, I
But, like-
think Bongo stands out because it's his only cartoon.
Yeah, but I mean, like you could say that about a million things. I think the flowers and trees stand out because it's its only cartoon. But like
Yeah,
that
that's
doesn't
fair.
really like.
Well, Flowers and Trees is at least pretty to look at.
Oh, absolutely! It's a fantastic feature, a fantastic short. I'm sorry, but like it's not forgettable. Like Bongo's just kind of like a normal, like run of the mill, like love story, but with bears instead of people. I guess the music's okay and the animation's good because it's Disney, but I don't think it stands out nearly as much as Blame It on the Samba does because of that abstractness, because of how different it is. I appreciate it for how different it is. I appreciate them wanting to experiment with something like this, and I think it's cool because of that.
I rescind my time.
Oh.
Okay.
And apparently the Araquan bird was in House of Mouse.
All right. Okay, Jacob, we're coming down on this one, buddy.
It's like, but first off, I do like Ed Mark's comments like justice for Araquan. And I can confirm that he was like having seen the entirety of Legend of Caballeros. He was like the housekeeper of the entire series.
Yeah.
And he did appear in a few episodes of House of Mouse.
That I remember.
Did Bongo ever show up in House of Mouse? I'm
I don't
curious
believe
about
so.
that.
I think the only bear to show up in there was Humphrey.
Okay.
But I think
So
Bongo-
I want to point out about Bongo. Do y'all remember the mating ritual of the bears and Bongo?
The slap
Vaguely.
thing, wasn't it?
They would literally slap each other. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen this.
It's
Wait,
okay.
really?
Yeah, I've never seen. Well, I mean, I have seen Fun and Fancy Free, but I just probably don't remember Bongo.
No, well, there you go.
Yeah. I think I watched it most
Well,
recently, like a year ago. I
well,
meant to
and-
watch it this morning, and I didn't get around to it.
And I also remember, and I do know for a fact I've never seen Melody Time.
Is that the one that's not on
Yeah.
Disney Plus?
That's the
yeah.
one.
I used to love Melody Time.
Melody Time is on Disney Plus. It's Make My Music.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
Make
that's
My
the one I
Music.
was thinking
Yeah,
of. That's the
Thank
one.
you.
I
Used to
always
love them.
get those two confused. I swear
So
to God,
do I.
those titles are
Jacob,
so similar.
Could use
No,
a
I
more-
very distinctly remember the opening song for Melody Time. Sorry, Blue Dragon 5, continue.
Yeah, Jacob, we need a ruling though. Where are you leaning?
Hey, based on the strength of the argument, I'm going to go with Joker. Joker's.
Okay. Joker's Tiki.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with
please.
Joker too. I think he made more arguments about like why Phil's short was it's a pretty simple short, but it's also pretty innovative and not innovative per se, but very creative and pushes some animation techniques. Bongo is just very, very, very painfully average, and I feel like the debate illustrated that. So yeah.
Well, not that it counts because it's already two out of the three, but just to get it in there for synergy. Yeah, honestly, I think Joker's made some good points as to why Blame It on the Samba. I actually went into this expecting, I kind of went into this expecting the outcome to be the reverse, honestly. But I think Joker's made points to Blame It on the Samba's favor that kind of couldn't be disputed. That yeah, the animation is impressive, and there's characters are quite memorable with the advantage of the Three Caballeros and all that sort of stuff. So I think I'm kind of leaning towards Joker's myself. So it's a unanimous Joker's getting the point. Round 1.
Wow.
Right.
Damocles.
It's going to be like a running gag, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, looking that way.
Well, it's better than the last one we had with that fire alarm that Rohit picked.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
And also the cricket that was once in my apartment.
Oh my God. All
To
right.
be fair, I don't think Joker's chose poorly on that short.
I didn't choose it at all. But,
Well,
but thank you.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's a whole. Don't ask, Phil. It's
Yeah.
just a whole thing.
I'm a last minute replacement.
Yeah,
that's
because he couldn't commit in the first place, and now we're.
I
back
know,
on the
right?
whole-
Well, no, I was supposed to do something, and then it fell through. But it was after
So it's-
Pergeron
yeah.
already said he could come.
That's what I'm saying. Like Phil, I don't know
Yeah.
if you vaguely remember. I told you like we had a change in opponents, and then it switched back, and it was like,
Yeah.
I don't remember those types of things.
yeah.
I was the original opponent, and now
Yeah, I
we're
know,
back.
I know. Very the whole, yeah. See,
Yeah.
Phil's actually doing cool stuff right now.
Oh,
All right.
speaking of which, Dragon, we should probably take a little bit of time to promote Phil's stuff. Do you want to do that really quick, Phil?
Yeah, sure. What?
Go ahead.
What do you want me to promote? What's going on?
Whatever
Anything
you're
you-
working on.
Anything you like?
I'm in the middle of making an animatic for a cartoon short of based on my comic strip characters called Retail Sunshine.
Nice,
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, so I'm making the animatic as we speak, or not right this second, but I mean before I got on this call.
I'd be
tonight.
really impressed if you were, though.
Yes,
I know,
no,
right?
no. Before we started tonight, I was working on. I was adding some audio and things like that.
Cool.
Theme Park Priestley, Joker's, Paragon, and Joe Rody are the same person. Discuss.
All three of them?
I don't think Joker's has long enough earlobes to be Joe Rody.
No, it's not for lack of trying. Not there
No,
yet.
I think a little bit like it's wrong, actually. I do think, yeah.
All right.
And
All right.
Dragon, is there a coin?
Well, let me check the logical place first. Let me check the old pocket, and I got change, but I ain't got the Donald's dime on me, unfortunately. Not a Donald's dime to spare tonight, so no. Round one, no coin.
Right?
What about the word?
And recollecting, going through the minutes of the and no.
Okay, it's a no-go on both for round one. Okay, everyone's safe so far.
I'm not feeling safe, but that's all right.
No, lean into the fear. That's a good emotion to have right now. You're all good.
Lead into the fear.
Yeah, lean into
Feels
the
him.
fear.
Yeah, like believe it or not, you might have Cam actually come close.
Ooh.
That is true.
If you use the same exact words, you'll be just fine.
Yeah. Just remember every word you just said.
That's why I always write down every word I say.
Oh,
when I
God.
lose.
Good tactic. All right.
Yeah.
Round two. All right. So, to shed some light on one of the unsung Disney artists and creatives, round number two is what is Mary Blair's greatest Disney contribution? Now, Phil, what say you with the answer?
I chose, not somebody else chose. I chose Alice in Wonderland.
All right. Okay, Jokers.
Yeah, I under my own volition chose It's a Small World.
Indeed it is. Okay. Phil, opening statement.
Well, I think it's definitely an understandable choice to choose It's a Small World, but while it is very cool and has lots of great geometry, the art for Alice in Wonderland can be felt across multiple films, and Alice in Wonderland specifically, the art can be seen across the theme parks in not just one attraction.
Okay. Jokers.
Yeah, before I go, I just want to mention Bongo apparently was on House of Mouse.
Oh,
I just looked it up. Apparently he was snowed in at the House of Mouse. But it's pretty cut and dry. Small world.
Well, that doesn't help anything. I still lost.
No, I
You're forgettable even in House of Mouse.
yeah, exactly. This is pretty cut and dry. It's like it's a small world. That was like Mary Blair's like big, like auteur thing that she did for the parks. It's very memorable. It's very her. It's probably the most recognizable art piece that she's ever done. So I mean, it's a small world.
Well, the problem with that argument is if someone hasn't visited the theme parks, it isn't a small world for them after all. But the movie can be watched by anybody anywhere in the world.
I would still say that it's a small world. Even people who haven't visited the parks would recognize it to some degree. I do think that the ride has kind of transcended the like just the theme park sphere. For Alice in Wonderland, like I honestly didn't know that Mary Blair worked on it. I'd always attributed most of the aesthetic to like Frank Thomas and like other animators like that. So I didn't realize that she did as much work on it as she seems to have done.
Well, that may
but
be true.
yeah,
Well,
but I
that-
mean, like,
yeah.
I feel like Alice in Wonderland, while Mary Blair worked on it, I think that the work that some of the other animators and artists have done stand out a little bit more, to me at least. And I don't really, so at the same time, I don't really think it's as recognizable as a Mary Blair piece as It's a Small World is. Like a lot of people, when they see It's a Small World, like mainly theme park people, when they see It's a Small World, they think Mary Blair and they know that it's Mary Blair. Where Alice in Wonderland, they think of it as like a Disney production more.
But if we're not talking mainly theme park people, we're talking about people. I would say Alice in Wonderland by far has a lot more recognition than Small World.
Yeah, but is it for the art or the content? Is it for Mary Blair's aesthetic, or is it for the movie as a movie? And again, frankly, I still argue that Frank Thomas is more recognizable in that film than Mary Blair is, to me at least.
I don't think anybody's looking at any of these things and spouting off the names, so that's kind of a hard question to answer. But at the end of the day, I think people are appreciating Alice in Wonderland not just because of the book, but because Disney made that movie and those characters famous.
Oh no, I'm not saying because of the book. I'm saying because of the art. Like, are they recognizing it and like liking it because of the art, or are they recognizing it because of the characters and the writing and everything surrounding it?
I would
That could
say
be
the art, but I think the average person you ask is always going to pick characters of every movie, so that's sort of across the board what people would say. But I think at the end of the day, if the aesthetic wasn't there, it wouldn't be as popular of a movie as it is.
That's fair. I mean, this is kind of a hard question to define because, like, if we're talking about greatest contribution, like, obviously, like, we know it because, like, we recognize the art, we recognize the artists. But again, I feel like the aesthetic of It's a Small World is far more recognizable than the aesthetic of Alice in Wonderland, even though anyone can watch it and like a ton of people have seen it. The same can be true for It's a Small World. Like, it's just very well known, not just for the content, but specifically the aesthetic.
You can casually turn on Alice in Wonderland at home. You can't casually ride the ride.
I mean, nowadays you can watch a video of It's a Small World anytime you want.
You could. If you wanted to hear that song over and over again, I suppose you could.
But we're talking about the art.
Yes, but you can't separate those two, I don't think.
You can if you mute it.
Are you watching muted ride videos? What kind of
I do every morning. I lay in bed and I mute It's a Small World and just look at it.
Well, I can't debate that because that's just ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I feel like It's a Small World was a bigger contribution to Mary Blair because it's more recognizably her. It's more like she was like the main person for It's a Small World. So like you can just see her style and her design choices like everywhere you look in that attraction. Where Alice in Wonderland was far more collaborative, so you're seeing a lot of other people getting their hands in it. So I feel like
other people, but if you look at the movies one to the next, each movie has its own thumbprint on it, and I think Mary's thumbprint is very much on Alice. The color, the composition, absolutely.
I'm not sure I agree on the color, maybe. Like I said, like I didn't even know that Mary Blair worked on Alice in Wonderland until 3 minutes ago.
That sounds like that sounds like a you problem.
No, my point being that I never would have recognized it as Mary Blair's style before you pointed it out. I still think that there's other animators and artists who have like more noticeable contributions to the aesthetic of Alice in Wonderland than Mary Blair does. Where for It's a Small World, you can look anywhere, and if you know Mary Blair and you know her style, like you'll know it's Mary Blair. I don't know. Like, obviously, it doesn't have quite the wide appeal that Alice in Wonderland does, but that doesn't necessarily make it a lesser contribution. I think it's her greatest contribution.
Okay, I've heard enough. All right. Tiki.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Phil on this one just because I feel like he had more takedowns of Small World, and I also feel like just the point of like, you know, you can watch Alice in Wonderland anytime you want. That really stuck with me for sure. Like, I feel like it's a lot more accessible. It doesn't have the song attached to it. And honestly, Jokers, I'm kind of shocked that you were not aware that this was a Mary Blair project. Like,
No, I've
as
literally
a big
always.
Mary Blair fan myself, I think is pretty definitively Mary
So
Blair.
I'm not a huge Mary Blair fan, but I've literally like always thought of it as like a Frank Thomas movie.
I mean, that's like, keep in mind, it's like Mary Blair did the backgrounds. Frank Thomas did a lot of the character work.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's kind of apples.
Well, I mean,
and
I always
oranges.
picture.
Yeah.
I always thought of like the way the characters are animated, like especially like the mouths and stuff like that. So
That's
I always
fair.
associated it with Frank Thomas rather than Mary Blair.
All right. Well, alas, my vote does go to Phil.
All right, my
Fine.
vote goes to Phil as well.
Wow.
Yeah. I think you were flailing a little during this one. I think Phil was very confident in his approach.
Because
And,
I'm drinking too much tea.
Jacob, what is your ruling?
It doesn't really matter, but Phil.
Clean sweep for
It
Mr.
does
I also
matter.
just
Your
wanna
opinion
say-
matters.
I also just want to say, because someone pointed it out in the comments, so my initial pick was the Mary Blair mosaic from Tomorrowland, so that's close to the contemporary mosaic. Yeah.
Is there any other things in the comments we should chat up before going into the other stuff?
'Twas Billig and the Slithy Toads did Gyre and Gimbal in the Wabe.
Why? Is
Yeah, I
that
think we're
not
fine on the
relative?
comments.
That
All
should have been in
Mimsy
the
were the
movie.
Borogroves. And
Stop
the Momraths outgrade.
We're not doing Jabberwocky.
Jacob, speaking of literature, was the word said?
Okay, let me rewind the tape. reviewing audio samples, and look at and that's not it. That's something else. And so no, the word was not said.
All right. Okay, lucked out again, players. Lucked out
God.
again.
Yeah, more safe
Nice.
words.
I just like the idea of Jacob sitting in front of a really big computer screaming in hands. He's trying to figure out.
And I said it's not in hams. In hands.
What happens if we say the word again?
There's going to be a penalty,
Something.
which I'm not going to tell you what it is until it happens.
Yes, I can tell what you said by the waveform.
Yeah.
Very concerned.
All right. Okay, now let me check for that blasted coin. All right, let me check for Donald's dime here. I'm going to check the old Mickey Mouse gumball machine. Sure, not to fail. I'm going to lift up a little flap here, some gumballs. Going to do some of that later. All right, up. Sorry, no coin, just gumballs. All right.
Right.
Moving on to round number 3. All right, besides Jungle Cruise, what was the best opening day Disneyland attraction? Phil.
I'm going to go with Snow White.
Okay. Jokers.
Oh, I read the wrong thing. I guess I'm doing the train.
Well, that was confident.
I picked the train.
I suddenly feel a lot
You don't
better
even
about
give
this
it
one.
the official name. It's the Disneyland
The
Railroad,
Disneyland
and it's not the
Railroad.
train.
Walt
Train.
Disney Zone
Get it
Choo-Choo.
right.
I think by default, I just won this one.
You know how
Yeah.
In a just world, maybe, but we have to see this to the end.
do you know how hard it was to find a vintage Snow White picture,
Oh, I'm
Really?
sure it was hard. Yeah.
and also a color picture of Walt on the train?
Did you color yourself?
Yes, I colored a vintage photo all by myself.
Yes,
You
he
did a
did.
great
We're
job.
gonna
I mean,
move on.
I've done that, to be fair. Like, it is possible in
Yeah,
Photoshop.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just not
All right.
You've done
anyways.
Photoshop, Tiki?
Yeah, I took Photoshop. The problem is I have the computers that I run are so cheap that they can't run fucking Photoshop.
Okay. All
So I
right,
know how to
Phil.
use Photoshop. I just can't run it. That's the
Okay.
problem.
All right. So many strings. Okay. Phil,
Yes, sir.
hit me with an opening statement, sir.
Opening statement: Snow White is a landmark Disney piece because, first of all, it was their first feature film. And if that film did not do well, there probably wouldn't even be a Disneyland. So that's my opening statement.
Okay, Jokers.
The train, she moved forward. No,
A little more class, please. Class it up a little. Just a little.
No, I mean, in the same vein, I think the Walt's obsession with trains is a big reason why we have Disneyland in the first place. It's it's the first thing you see when you're into the park. It's one of the things closest associated with both Walt Disney and Disneyland. So I think it's just a classic attraction that's indicative of both the man and the park.
Well, when you think about rides and you think about what Disney is famous for, you think about dark rides, and Snow White started that whole thing out with a bang. And so I feel like that's a signature piece of the park. You only have one train, but you have multiple dark rides. And I think Snow White was really the ride that got people thinking about those kinds of attractions more.
I think that Snow White's Scary Adventures became a good attraction. Where the train, like, it's virtually the same as it was in 1955, with a few changes, obviously.
Yeah, do you want to go all the way to Disneyland to ride a train? I mean...
No, because I can go to any Disney theme park in the world to ride a train, unlike Snow White.
So the exclusivity of a ride does not necessarily make it better or worse.
No, but my point in saying that is that the train has longevity and the recognizability. I don't know, where they can and do put it in every Disney park except for Shanghai, which also does not have Snow White.
Right, but my point is you can ride a train at any number of attraction theme parks. You can go to Cedar Point in Ohio and ride a train. That doesn't mean
but that's still totally different from the Disney train because it shows off the entire park. It has the experiences that were added after 1955, so I don't know if I should mention them. So I think even though it's just a train, it's unique for Disneyland.
Unique,
and again,
yes, but best, I wouldn't put it as best. If you go home from Disneyland, you're going to be talking in the car about how crazy it was that character jumped out at you, the Wicked Witch jumped out at you. You're not going to be like, remember when the train kept going straight?
But no, it turns a few times. It turns 4 times. A lot of people don't like Snow White because it's so scary.
A lot of people are lame.
I don't disagree. But the train is very accessible. Again, it's literally the first thing you see when you're in the park. So it already sets the.
But it's not exciting, and that's the difference.
Exciting doesn't really matter in terms of what's the best Disneyland attraction. There's so many rides that aren't exciting that are very popular and very famous. The train being one of them. It sets the tone for the entire park. It's not exciting, but it's a really good ride. It gives you the lay of the land if you've never been to the park before, so you can ride it and see literally the entire park. It's a longer experience. You can relax on it.
You'll never forget where you went to see Snow White. Snow White has a Disney signature on it. You'll never go somewhere and think, I wonder where I was when I saw Snow White.
So does the train. The train is very much as a Disney signature on it, between being able to see the park, between the experiences on the train. It's not just an outdoor train. Like, it goes through the Grand Canyon diorama. It goes through the Primeval World diorama. Like, there's a lot more to it than just going straight and turning right a few times. And again, like I don't know. Snow White's a good ride, but I think there are better Fantasyland dark rides that you could have chosen, like Peter Pan, even Alice in Wonderland or Mr. Toad. Like, Snow White is a great ride, but even in the sense of just Fantasyland, there are better dark rides than Fantasyland.
I chose it because it was based off of their very first film, so I feel like
that's totally fair.
You know, if there had been a opening day Mickey Mouse ride, I probably would have chosen that because that's where Disney got started. But to me, Snow White is their beginnings of the film world, and Mickey was the beginnings of the short world.
That's fair, but the historical significance doesn't necessarily make it the best ride. Whereas I feel like, again, like, I don't know, I feel like the train is just it's a fantastic tone setter for the park as a whole.
If I'm a kid and I want to go to Disney, I'm going to be sitting there thinking about seeing characters. I'm not going to be sitting there thinking about a train.
I mean, I used to love the train when I was a kid. I still love the train. I think that the train really sets the tone for being both a family park and a park for everyone, really. So you
Oh,
can
yeah.
ride a ride with your kids. You're not scared shitless because you're being like attacked by a tree and a witch. It's I don't know. Snow White has its place, absolutely, but I don't.
Hey,
think
I
it's
love
as
the train
accessible
too.
as
I
the
love it
train.
when my feet are tired and I need a break from stuff.
And that's not a bad thing. You don't have to be like necessarily like oh my god, they have a train here. Like you don't have to be like super excited about it, but it's still a great ride.
Don't
I
worry,
think that-
I'm not.
And I think that accessibility sets it above Snow White, whereas Snow White is a great classic Disney experience. It's not very accessible. And again, like there are much better rides in Fantasyland itself. Like my original choice was Peter Pan because I think that's the most innovative ride that was at opening day Disneyland, where the train is just like classic. It's the definition of classic. And there's a reason why it hasn't changed
And
much
to
in
me,
60 years.
dark rides are the
65
definition of
years.
Disneyland, and that's why I went with Snow White.
That's totally fair. That's
Yeah.
totally fair. But I think there's a reason why the train hasn't changed in 65 years, and I don't think it's because they.
What are you
I don't
gonna
know.
do with a train?
I mean, they could get rid of it if they really wanted to. But again, I think it's too classic. It's too well known. It's too indicative of Disneyland itself. Where Snow White, okay.
All right.
Technically, the original name was Snow White and Her Adventures.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't agree. You're right.
Jacob,
Hmm.
what's the ruling, buddy?
This is actually an interesting one. Whereas, where the last two were kind of lopsided towards one. This one, both are actually kind of firing on cylinders, except for when it's I picked the train. except for that, I think Joker's pulled out quite well. But I think this time I'm actually probably gonna go with Phil.
Okay, so that's one vote for Phil. Tiki.
Yeah, I agree with Jacob. This was definitely the most even debate so far. I'm going to go with Joker's just because I think he raised some really good points as far as Snow White is definitely neither the most accessible or the most innovative dark ride on opening day. And Joker's, I feel like you could have gone a little bit more into the connection with Walt as far as the train goes. I feel like that's a very important distinction that you wanted to make there.
Yeah.
But I do think that Phil's logic with Snow White being the first feature, that's why he I honestly think that's kind of it's a little bit of flawed logic from a theme park point of view, because it's
Yeah.
I get the historical significance of it, but it's Disney was all over the place when it came to the representation in their parks. Sleeping Beauty was not even that was in pre-production when Sleeping Beauty's castle was premiered to the public. So it's I don't know. I get what you're saying with the legacy factor, but I don't really think it has as much weight as you think it does. So Dragon, with that in mind, why don't we break the tie?
That's the only knock I would have against Phil's myself.
All right, just so I'm clear, so you voted Jokers.
I'm voting Jokers, yes.
And I chose Phil.
Okay, I'm going to break the tie, as Tiki is wonderfully teed up for me. So, yeah, Jokers, I really want to vote for the train. I really do.
The train.
But I just can't. Phil, I think, made the better argument, so I'm voting Phil.
Huzzah!
All right.
Okay, so that's 2 Phil, 1 Jokers, and just in the spirit of suspense, let's start with the coin that we know is here. Let's start with we're at the end of 3 rounds. Let me offer both well-fought fighters the opportunity to flip the Walt Disney Silver Dollar.
Can I offer my virtual hand to Jokers and so far and shake hands and say, so far this is a good battle?
Yeah, it's going well. This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so nice seeing Buckley and Vidal shake hands. All right. Okay, so Phil, would you like to flip?
What does this do again?
Okay, so this one's if it lands heads, you can get a point. If it lands tails, you risk.
You keep on
losing a
saying you
point.
can, Dragon. You will get a point.
You get the opportunity.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it's going to land on.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I never have been a gambling man, and I think I need to stick with that.
Okay.
All right.
Jokers.
I'm behind, so I'm just gonna do it, and we'll see how it goes.
He's a gambling man.
I never do this. I'm gonna get fucked up.
Oh,
right now.
nice.
Hey!
Well, fortune favors the bold. Now it's all tied up.
There you
2
go.
to 2. Okay.
Golden
That's
name.
So Phil, that means if you would have flipped, you would have been at 3 now.
Yep.
Look, I'm aware of
Well,
what
I mean,
it
not
means.
necessarily, Jacob. We don't know. We would have gotten
Well,
ahead.
yeah, he could have been a 1 or 3.
Well,
Yeah.
there's science to
I
flip
know,
the
I
coins, but
know.
we're not going to dwell on that right
Damn
now.
it, please!
Curse your hanging sword and little hair legend. Anyway, so all right, okay, okay. You know what? I should mention this earlier. I was in the Scrooge McDuck vault when I was
Oh my
picking up
God.
the coin. So I took a dive in the money, and I've been feeling this thing in my shoe the whole time. And I just now realized, kind of like when I was doing like some Don Adams shtick earlier, I found that there is indeed Donald's dime has found its way into my shoe. So we found it. And we're going to offer it to Phil because he won the last round. Phil.
Oh, thanks. What does that mean?
That means, well, again, now it's basically it's the same thing as before. You could you get a point or lose a point. Do you want to flip or do you want to stick at 2?
Oh my god!
Now you saw what happened when you didn't flip last time.
If I flip now and get a tails, I'm gonna be so angry.
That is your decision. This is all yours, but you earned this. It's your call. Do you want to flip it or do you want to just admire it behind glass?
What can I use the coin to bribe the judge in giving me a point?
No.
Jacob, no.
Hey, I said no before you even said anything.
No, what
I know,
else?
I'm kidding you,
What
buddy.
else is the coin good for? Is it only good for flipping?
Yeah, only good for flipping.
I'm gonna
Well,
take
again,
the
you
coin
can admire
and-
it. You can just kind of keep it and admire it.
Yeah, I'm gonna admire it.
philosophically.
I'm gonna put the coin on a dais, and I'm gonna keep it on my mantle.
Hey,
Okay.
keep in mind though, since this did come from Scrooge's vault, he's gonna come after you.
Oh, God.
All right,
Remember-
okay.
Because you remember how meticulous Scrooge is with his money.
That is true. Okay,
This will be the first virtual coin I've ever earned, so I'm going to put it invested into Dogecoin.
Is this like
That's
literally
true.
the world's lamest NFT?
yeah, this is essentially the Imagineer version of the what do the kids call it? The NFT.
Yeah.
That's what the kids call it, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what the kids call it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hip. All right. So okay, Jacob, we're all in dire suspense. Was it said?
Want me to tell you?
I'm kind of disinterested, but do you guys want to know?
We can skip it this time. It's fine.
It wasn't.
Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, so now we are entering the speed round.
Believe it or not though, again, you were quite close.
You're close.
Yeah,
Yes.
very close actually. Yes.
Mhm.
Who was close?
Actually, technically both of you, since you both kind of talked about a subject related to the word.
Ooh,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Ah, that tells me nothing.
Yep.
At a point.
That's the way we like it. Okay. All right, so we're entering the speed round. So the way speed round works, as it usually does, now a timer is going to enter the fray, as in you have 30 seconds, followed by a 15-second rebuttal. Okay, whoever speaks first, sometimes we have quick draw questions, and whoever speaks first and gives their answer will end up going first. And also, again, to the audience, the live audience joining us, if you want to submit questions to ask our players, ideally in relation to vintage, kind of Walt-era Disney, ideally, we might be inclined to use those questions, and you can judge who made the better argument. Their fate is in your hands.
Boxers.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was answering boxers or briefs.
No, not
Yeah.
yet. All right. Okay, so do you understand these rules as I've explained them to you both here this evening?
I guess.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So again, things are going to get tricky in the speed round because we have all sorts of weird and wild questions that are going to make you sweat, and it's going to be fun. All right.
Oh,
I
I'm like
think it's
sweating.
fun.
Please don't make me sweat.
Want to have fun?
I can have fun without sweating. What are you talking about?
I am incapable of having fun without sweating.
Okay, we're going to start off with the wheel.
Oh boy.
Of
Just waiting for it to get up so I can finish.
Morality?
Wheel of
Hux.
villains.
Oh. This,
No, Tom
this
Rothman
wheel
isn't
is
on this
brought
list,
to you
jokers.
by Sasha Cook. How do I find you?
So you could click on that. Let's see the San Francisco Symphony.
Don't
No,
indulge
I'd rather
that.
not.
If you click it, it'll tell you how to find her.
Oh God.
It's just a map with a geolocator.
No.
Unless
Yeah,
Sasha has a sister named Olivia Cook, I don't care.
Oh God.
It'll tell her how to find you.
It's
Anyway.
just like cryptic treasure map riddles.
Okay,
Sounds
if we can put a pin in the Smiley Symphony lady, if we can just refocus here.
God.
Okay, so
It's actually kind of creepy.
All right, spin the wheel.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Dragon, explain it.
okay, so what? All right, way this works is simple. You're gonna spin the wheel, get a villain, then a question.
All right.
All right, so we're going to assign this. Phil,
since
you won
the last. Since you won the last point, would you like to spin first or second?
I'd like to spin first.
Okay.
Okay.
Wheel of morality. Turn. Tell us a lesson to learn.
Oh,
All right, and you got a classic, the Wicked Queen from Snow White.
Isn't it just the evil queen?
Either one really works.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, my
And
heart
You know
is
who we're
always the
talking
evil.
But
about.
her real name is actually Grimhilda.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm just saying. I didn't
I
expect
didn't
it.
want to try and spell that. I'm lazy.
I'm just saying, like 7 years of Once Upon a Time, it's kind of burned in there, evil queen. But then again,
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
Wicked evil, same thing.
All right. Jokers.
yeah.
Let's see what Joker's.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
It's just man.
Yes.
From Bambi.
Why does this
Yep,
name-
man
Yes.
from Bambi. Oh well.
Buffalo and
Okay.
Gideon.
You know what's weird? I always thought it was just Honest John. I had no idea Falfo was the actual name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has two names.
I know it's weird.
So
Why does that
I
character
think
get
Val
two
is
names?
spelled with a U.
Yeah, it's still terrible spelling.
Oh,
I
shut
get it.
up.
No, Falfel just is Chicken Man.
You're right. It is like Chicken Man. Oh, God. All
We'll pull a
right.
hat trick
All
to get
right.
Blair spelled right, so we're just lucky we have what we have. So we're gonna move on.
I'm
not gonna-
appreciative for all the work you do, Tiki.
I'm going to make sure I don't correct the spelling of the people in charge of my fate here.
All right. Okay, so here's the question, which now you are assigned to answer with this as your answer for this question, just so you both know. All right. Which Walt-era Disney villain should get a live-action Maleficent-esque film?
Wicked Queen.
All right.
Man from Bambi.
I'm sorry we don't serve that here anymore.
I wish. I fucking wish.
I'm going to say this on the merits of the fact that, like, man, her origin story must be really interesting.
To be fair, we already saw a man in a movie with Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, God.
Remember, that's essentially that's the guy who shot Bambi, so we saw
All
that
right,
movie.
And then just to reiterate again, Phil, we start these things. We do. You have a 30-second opening statement,
Oh,
and then your opponent does a 30-second opening statement, and then you go and have a 15-second rebuttal.
okay.
And
Thank you.
then,
All right.
then vice versa. You
Yeah.
get it.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, is this live action? Just for clarification.
Yep, live
Yes,
action.
it's live
absolutely.
action,
It's
yes.
gotta be
Oh,
like
dear.
Basically,
Okay.
got to do what you got to like I assumedly, Tika, when you say Maleficent, you mean like an origin villain story too, right? Or do you
Yeah.
So an origin story, like a live action villain origin, like Maleficent, or a more modern example,
Did
I guess.
puppets
like
kill
Cruella.
Honest John's mom, jokers?
They threw off a cliff.
Anyway,
Right.
okay. All right. Whenever you start speaking, Phil. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with the Wicked Queen. I think she's in the animated film, arguably sort of taking back seat as far as what her past is and her story. But I've always kind of wanted to know more about her, and how she came to power, and what, why did she want to be the fairest in the land and that kind of thing. We don't really see much about her stranglehold on the kingdom. So to me, that would make a really interesting live action movie. Would be to see what her beyond motivations, beyond the vanity stuff would be.
Okay, so picture this. Foulfellow and Gideon are two animals living in a human world who are down on their luck, just trying to make it in the world. They're very poor, living on the street. Gideon is stricken by a fever that leaves him mute. They're doing their best. They're trying to make things work, and then they get picked up by the coachman from Pleasure Island. They start working for him because they have to. Really, this is a story about two people down on their luck, and it attracts the furries. So it's a new market.
All right, Phil, you got a 15-second rebuttal whenever you
All
start
right,
talking.
here we go. Wicked Queen has star power. That's the main thing right there. Foulfellow and Gideon are sidekick henchmen, I should say. And so you could really attract someone with a good face for the movies with the Queen.
I mean, the Queen is fine, but she's going to start a villain and end a villain. Like, it's not really like Maleficent, where you can make her like evil or sympathetic rather. Gideon and Foulfellow are more fun because like they're not necessarily evil, they just became evil. They're open enough where you can do pretty much anything.
All right, Tiki, this is your question, so you call it.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I thought that Joker's was at a pretty bad handicap with the fact that, as Phil pointed out, like his characters were more henchmen, but I really think he cracked it out. I think he made really good points where it's like, the Queen would kind of start evil and stay evil with Gideon and Foulfellow. They're kind of just like, like blank slates in a way. So I'm honestly, I could honestly weirdly see it. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Joker's.
All right now it's 3-2, and reminder, it's a race to 5 points. Okay, that brings us to the next question.
And the word still has not been uttered.
Cool.
All right. Okay, let's see.
Is uttered the word?
It could be. I mean, he can say the word. You guys, not so much. Well, you could say it, but it would be disastrous if you did.
We can say it. We can say all the words that we want, but you're the ones who will suffer the penalties if you say it.
Yeah, honestly, we could have already said it.
Tiki, what's the word?
I don't know for sure, honestly. I have an idea of what it is.
I threw him some fake ones to throw him off the scent, actually. He thinks I'm joking, but no, actually I did. I threw him.
Oh no, I know.
I would believe him if he actually did that, honestly.
I want to take a wild stab at it and say that the secret word is me.
What?
Yeah, it could be.
Well, it's not.
The
Okay.
knights who say knee.
Yes. The same.
All right.
Only
Okay.
Dragon and I are privy to the word.
It would seem that way. Oh, okay. All right. A lot of good questions here to pick from. I'm not seeing any audience questions yet, so I'll pick one of the ones we have here already. Okay, here's Jacob. You want to go with a part question or an animation question?
Well, we just kind of did an animated 2 live action question, so let's do it Park next.
Okay. All right. What would Walt? That's Walt Disney, by the way. What would Walt?
Thank God.
I thought this was Walt Whitman.
I know.
Oh,
It'd be
fine.
really
I
boring.
thought you were
if it
going to
was
say
Walt.
Walter Caning.
Well, actually, it's Walter White, just to make faces.
Oh,
No. What would Walt?
Damn Disneyland.
Business so substantial could stand toe to toe with Walt.
Oh, God.
On the Nasdaq. All right. No. Seriously. So, what would Walt hate most about Disney parks today?
Ooh.
Besides the pricing, like if Walt were around today and he saw how the parks were, what would he hate most outside of? Because again,
Ooh, this is a fantastic question.
Again, obviously, if you were around, he saw they're charging what, and this is like the price of a building by this standard.
Right.
We're charging to get people in this park here.
Commercialization. No. Yes. Yeah.
It can't be a money thing.
That's money? I mean,
I was just saying it, but you kind of tying that out there.
And technically, he did a lot of commercialization back when he did it, considering
that's why I said no, but I have a slant to it.
Considering like sponsors were like a big reason why they exist in the first place.
No, I know. Yeah.
Are you waiting for me to answer?
Yes. Well, Jokers, is commercialism your response?
Or rather, over commercial.
Over commercialism. Okay. Yes, Phil. We'll wait on you.
I'm gonna go with I think it's now called the Genie process.
Oh boy, yeah.
Okay. Wait, I just like the Genie app or like the Genie process?
The app.
The app, yeah.
I just want to make sure. Okay, I want to make sure they didn't like come up with like another new thing. Like, oh wait.
No, I just didn't say it right.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right.
Jesus.
That was violent.
You okay there, Jokers?
That wasn't me.
Jacob, you're alive, boy.
Jacob, was that you?
Speak to me, son. Speak to me.
Jacob just collapsed in the middle of this debate.
Oh no, I'm sure he's fine. If not,
the sliding
we
part of my desk fell.
There you
Oh.
go. He's okay. He's all right.
That was the sound of the other shoe.
Yes. Okay. Don't. We haven't cloned. It's fine. Okay. So, whenever you're ready, Jokers.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Distraction.
Oh god. So I think the biggest issue with over commercialization is that it's just inescapable at this point. A big thing with Disneyland obviously was commercialization and synergy, but at this point every single ride is synergistic with something belonging to Disney. They don't do anything original anymore, and that was like a big thing that the Disney parks used to do, and a big thing that Walt used to drive was those exclusive original experiences that brought people places that weren't really attached to movies, and I think that's sorely missed.
Ready for me?
Yeah. Whenever you speak, Phil, when you start speaking, that's when the. Yeah.
Sorry, I heard clicking and I thought you guys were doing something.
No. You're good, Phil. Just whenever you're
Okay.
ready.
So look, at the end of the day, I think Walt could get past theming. I just think there is something morally and just plain wrong about charging people after they've been charged to enjoy the park they're already in. And I think Walt would absolutely have a problem with that, like morally speaking. But as far as the theming goes, you can get past theming, you can get past the commercialization, all that stuff. That's just changing with the times. But once you're in the park, to have to be charged to then enjoy the park is weird.
I would say kind of the opposite's true, where Walt could be talked into like the process of Genie, where it helps people plan their vacations. But the commercialization, I think you can't really escape, and it's not really something you can ignore. Wherever you look, it feels like a commercial. I think Walt would be very angry, I guess, about how much is,
Look, I mean, the Genie replaced FastPass, which was a free system, and everyone loved it. So there's really no getting around the fact that they took something that was good and then they made it worse. And I think Walt would probably have a problem with that.
All right. Jacob, who do you think got it?
I'm actually gonna have to give this one to Jokers. I think
surprising.
mainly on the count that that the entire thing that he said about Genie was basically entirely wrong. As someone who just went to the parks, only Genie Plus is the Fast Pass service. Like the whole Genie thing is just a planner.
Well, that's what I was referring to.
It's like, but the planner
But
part
you
is
don't have to pay for the planner, just the fast pass.
Yeah, I meant the part where you're paying for the ride.
I thought they did have free fast passes too.
some of them you can reserve spots in some of them without even having to pay for it. So it's like only certain rides have that now. So it's like based on the strength of the argument and the fact that he was more actually correct, I'm gonna have to go with Joker's.
All right.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
4-2 now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is 4-2.
Okay, we got to do the Muppet question next.
I'm
Okay.
aware. I was getting to it.
All right.
And the word has not
I was
been
born
said.
at night. I wasn't born at last night.
Hey, how about I flip that coin? How about I flip that coin now, since it's more interesting?
Right.
Your chance.
No, you can't break the glass now.
Oh, I didn't realize it was only during that moment.
Only during that moment.
Yeah, it
yes.
was, Phil. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well,
And Monkey, to
damn
answer
it,
your question,
please.
and Monkey, to answer your question, the planner is actually quite nice. So the threads again are kind of wrong.
I mean, I didn't mean.
One thing I don't like about the Genie app, just in general, like if you want to talk about it being a moral standpoint, let's all remember that Robin Williams had a major problem with that character being like advertised and pushed in people's faces.
Yeah.
And now obviously the man is dead and they are using that character, and that character is very synonymous with Robin Williams, and yeah, that's just icky to me anyways.
Little skeezy, little bit.
Yeah.
That's
Push
fair.
it.
But just to clarify, I wasn't referring to a planner.
Okay.
No, you were referring to the fact that they took the fast passes away and then they charged for the fast passes.
That's
I think
Yeah.
Monkey's just bringing up like the planner individual with that. I think, but
And I think the whole Robin Williams thing is pushing it a bit myself, but let's move on.
Well, I mean, they could have chosen a bunch of different characters. That's all I'm saying. They didn't have to choose the one who, anyways.
Anyway, so of course
Lamp.
we have a signature tradition on the show here where we always do a Muppet question. So the Muppet question, you can imagine it might be a little difficult to think of a Muppet question in relation to old school Walt-era Disney, but we found one. We found one. Which animated Walt Disney film should get a Muppet adaptation a la Treasure Island or Muppet Christmas Carol?
Any of them?
Well,
As long as it was made in the Walt-era.
Yeah, as long as Walt
Okay,
Disney
so
The
Yeah,
White Jungle Book.
Yeah.
All right. I will say that Shaggy Dog or the Shaggy Dog, and you could have Rolf.
Has to be animated.
Yeah,
Phil.
that's the animated film though. Yeah.
Doesn't it have an animated opening?
Well, it has to be a full-on animated
I
film.
know.
It has to be in the Walt Disney Animation Studios canon.
The Reluctant Dragon.
God. I would take that. I would accept that as an answer.
No.
It is included. It is included. It should.
It is technically part of the canon. Yeah,
Come on, no.
it is. It is.
Hey, what about Mary Blair? Might as well include Mary Poppins then.
No,
Mary
that's
Poppins
That is not
part of the canon.
we're not including Mary Poppins, therefore we're not including.
All right, I'm gonna go with Sleeping Beauty.
All right, there we go.
Okay. All right.
Things are sarcastic with the whole Mary Poppins thing, but a Muppets Mary Poppins would actually be pretty interesting.
Of course it'd be
That'd be
interesting,
fun.
but it'd be too easy.
Well, it'd just be Miss Piggy being really bad at the Mary Poppins job.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's so good.
All
It'd
right,
be
so
funny.
Phil
Though.
has Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
It'd be funny at least for a short project.
I'm going to go with. I almost said Saludos Amiga. Jesus, what could I do? Give me a second. I'm gonna go with shit. Peter Pan.
Peter
I
Pan.
guess. I don't know.
That sounds very confident, Jokers.
It is very
like
confident.
it or not, the Joker's is stuck with it now. So
Everything I say is with confidence.
Monkey's like he's picturing Sweetums as Mary Poppins.
he'd actually be great at that.
Yeah, you would actually.
You'd be
Yeah.
a good Annie, you're right. Yeah.
I just love like casting Williams as Julie Andrews. I think that's brilliant. But anyway, so okay, Phil, whenever you're ready, buddy.
Okay, I will say Sleeping Beauty totally makes sense. You've got this jealous, angry queen, and you've got a sleeping princess. The sleeping princess could absolutely be, I can't remember her name, but she's like a character that's used on the Sesame Street all the time. She's like a sweet little blonde-haired girl character. You could totally have her be Sleeping Beauty, and of course Piggy could be Maleficent. It would be amazing, and you could have that deadly character be her, guy on the shoulder.
The princess's name is Aurora.
I think
No,
you're
no,
thinking is
not
thinking,
Aurora.
oh,
I'm talking about the Muppet.
the Muppet.
Prairie Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Prairie Dawn. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck, I remember that. Yeah, Prairie Dawn. Yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood you.
That's okay.
So picture this: it's Peter Pan, but they're Muppets. It's pretty cut and dry. Kermit is Peter Pan because he is green. The famous Muppet Shadow Kermit is Peter Pan's shadow. Gonzo's Captain Hook. They all have a great time. They all go to Neverland, and they fight some Indians, played by pigs. And,
God.
Like,
Okay. I was gonna say, think of the fun you could have with the three fairies. There's all kinds of, competing characters. Maybe it could be those fairies, or you could put Fozzie and Gonzo and Rizzo as the three fairies. I think that would be pretty freaking hilarious.
can I just say before we do this that I want
Yeah.
to do the Reluctant Dragon, but it's Fozzie Bear trying to find his way to Walt Disney's office.
The reluctant bear. The reluctant bear.
Yeah. So who won that one? It's probably me, right?
Well, you still have to.
Oh, we do have rebuttals.
Yes.
Oh,
you have
no.
another rebuttal.
You're right. I forgot.
Yourself to make a point.
I'm so
Before
sorry.
You
This-
interrupt.
This is what to illustrate. This is what a 2-point lead does to a person.
I know.
Yep.
That's what does it.
So
I just give up.
complacent.
You're
Just
right.
greedily complacent.
It's my nature. It's my
God
nature.
damn it, Jokers! Just give a rebuttal.
Having a conversation, Tiki.
Do it now.
So I don't know. Sleeping Beauty would be fun. I'm not sure I agree with that casting choice for the fairies, but it would be fun. It'd be interesting. I don't know. I always feel like fairy tales are kind of weird with the Muppets, and Sleeping Beauty is kind of dark to begin with. Where Peter Pan's light enough, where the Muppets could do it more easily.
Okay.
Right.
Full of racism.
No, don't worry about that. It's fine. They're pigs. It's fine.
Missed opportunity to call Gonzo Captain Hook Nose.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, Gonzo's
Oh,
Gonzo's
no.
book has to be the nose. Yeah,
I don't think we could
has
say
to
that.
be.
That would be very racially charged if you weren't careful.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna call this one. I honestly I liked both pitches, but I think I'm gonna give Phil the point on this round.
All right.
Yeah.
Eh.
Great.
Time for a coin flip.
Actually,
Wait.
Did we do it?
Well, remember no more coins. All right, the coin thing. That's
Well, no, the word.
Fine. Jacob, did you hear the word?
Phil said princess.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, I just want to point out that Dragon was like, "No, Tiki, I suggested princess," and he was like, "No, we're not going to go with that one."
I told you.
Damocles.
And then also, my word was strike, which I think would have been more thematically appropriate.
You really don't remember anything, do you? I said strike. You said princess. So literally, you said the word that I used, but I knew you wouldn't remember, so I used it.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Basically, the other word was
Was
strike.
asking me a suggestion for the word just a big charade to begin with?
Do you really want me to answer that?
Yes.
That was kind of.
I love charades.
All right. Oh, Jesus.
All right. Okay. All right. Hold on a second. Okay. Let's take a moment real quick, just to keep Phil in anticipation here. Phil, why don't you tell folks about Stay Tuned?
Oh, yeah. So Stay Tuned is a podcast. There's 3 seasons you can listen to on any podcast app. You can also check out episodes on my YouTube channel. And one of the seasons was called Stay Tuned Live, where you can watch live interviews with people who are involved in animation, many of them from Disney.
Cool. Yeah, seriously, folks, check out Stay Tuned because there's so much. There's just so much great episodes on there. Like Phil here, he's talked to some of the great, some of the animation greats. I mean, he talked to Andrea Romano, the queen of voice direction. Dear God, I mean, he's spoken to her. He's spoken to like the Tick himself. I mean, there's just a litany of wonderful guests that Phil has kind of gotten to speak to, and just I really enjoyed the episodes. Very informative. I got to hear my favorite thing, Kevin Altieri. Altieri laid out like why he loves Ra's al Ghul and the whole story, and I never heard the David Warner thing before that, and just hearing just David Warner saying, "Yes, I approve of that look." It's like, yes, I never heard that before. Just hearing Kevin Altieri kind of recount that story was wonderful, but I'm gushing.
Thank you. I should also point out that Stay Tuned had its first movie this past year, which is all about Batman the Animated Series. So please watch that film.
Yeah, the animated series turns 30 this year, folks. If you haven't watched it already, you should watch it now. All right. Let's see. So beyond that, let's see. We are so this Sunday we are talking the new episode of Book of Boba Fett. Just kind of while we're on the subject of synergy and Disney stuff. So yeah, we.
Greg, what's the punishment?
Okay, I thought we were stalling, but okay. Let me tell you the punishment. All right.
Wait, is it a punishment or is it possibly a reward?
No, it's definitely a punishment.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone's here, so I'm going to tell you. All right. So here's the penalty, and basically, there is a coin flip. So we're going to go with a coin now. Here's the thing. There is a coin flip, Phil, but nothing good happens on this coin flip.
Good. Well, I'm already losing. What does it matter?
Well, no, it's 3-4 right now. Let's see if it stays that way. All right. So let's tell you what. Let's flip it, and I'll tell you what it is. Just flip it, and I'll reveal what the punishment is. So basically, this one has to be flipped, and your punishment will be assigned. All right, let's see. So, okay, it has landed tails. Now, had it landed heads, your opponent would have picked your next speed round answer. That's what would have happened if it landed heads. But since it landed tails,
the Russian bot gets to choose.
Close. That was last week, but no, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
No. Tails is your opponent gets a do-over speed round. Now, what this means is, let's just say the next speed round doesn't go your opponent's way. Your opponent has the option of saying, "I want to do it over again. I want to fight." You have to use the same answers, but you get to do it all over again. Your opponent's request. And remember, right now Joker's is 4. If Joker's gets the next point, Joker's wins.
Yeah.
So that's quite detrimental to you, Phil.
I'm quite familiar with math.
We stink at it here. Okay.
Also, I want to point out Aid March's comment. I thought this was really inspired. He said Muppet version of Ichabod and Mr. Toad get 2 literary adaptations for the price of 1.
Yeah, I was actually going to point that out before my.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that idea.
I agree.
I really like that as well.
I was actually going to point that out before my devices went nuts.
I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Kermit has to be Toad, Mr. Toad.
Oh yeah.
It'd be really funny if that were not the case.
It'd be funny if there's like a guy's like, "I'm Mr. Toad," like, but aren't you a frog?
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine if imagine if the one human actor played the Toad? Imagine if like Danny DeVito played the Toad and everyone else was. Anyway. Okay. All right.
Mr. DeVito's Wild Ride.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So here, let's get back to the next speed round question. All right. Which Pixar or Disney director and or directing duo would be Walt Disney's favorite?
Which duo?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Many Disney directors are usually kind of in pairs. Like, like certain. I don't want to name them right now because you need to think of them. But you can either be a singular director. Like Pixar usually has a
Mustard
singular.
Clements, for example.
Well, he gave the example, so there you go. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's confusing wording.
Oh, right. Disney or Pixar?
Yes.
Yes, it can be a Pixar or a Disney director, or many Disney's case is pretty much almost always a pair of directors. So that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever directed a Pixar movie, and or anyone who's like from the modern era of like the Renaissance forward for WDAS.
Like, assume Walt's back and he's seen everything from both Pixar and Disney. Like, well, out of all those films, like, man, I really like who directs these movies.
I don't want to do the obvious one, partially because Tiki already said it.
See, this is why I didn't want it said, but yes.
Well, no, it helped. I mean, we could still do it. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, you could. I mean, it's out there, so yeah, sure.
Like, should we put out a Pixar one for an example?
Well, yeah, Pixar would be like Andrew Stanton. Or like,
Yeah, there we go.
Is that your answer?
No.
Okay.
There's a lot of good ones.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Allers and Minkoff,
Okay.
I guess.
Right.
I guess I'll go with John Lasseter and like Pete Docter.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a duo. It could just be a.
That's what I'm saying. Pixar, they have individual. I mean, you can just go with Laster if you'd like, or
Yeah, I
Pete
guess
Docter.
I'll go with Lasseter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Whenever you're ready, Jokers.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Wait. Oh yeah, right. We need. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, Allers and Minkoff, they directed The Lion King, which I think is pretty in line with a lot of the stuff Walt was trying to do in like the 40s and 50s, like Bambi and Jungle Book, and 60s. So yeah, I think that they made a movie that was very close to the type of movie that Walt might have done, albeit a little bit darker because it's The Lion King. So I think because of that, Walt would have liked them, I guess. Yeah, I think they just made a really good movie that was very in line with what was going on back in his life.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with John Lasseter because I think that, Walt Disney himself was a pioneer and an entrepreneur, and he chose to go with animation to funnel that through. And John Lasseter arguably started the whole Pixar thing off with Toy Story. So that speaks to Walt's entrepreneurial spirit, and he took animation in new directions, which Walt was all about, wanting to be innovative with animation.
Yeah, innovation, absolutely, but I think tonally, it's pretty different. Right? I don't know if Walt Disney would have liked it as a film, any of Lasseter's movies. Whereas I feel like Lion King was a lot closer to what they were doing back then. So I feel like because of that alone, it's very much in line.
I would say that there's maybe not the same visuals, but the Pixar films have tons of heart, and to me, Disney has always been equivalency with heart. So Lasseter's films as well.
Okay, so before
At the sound of the burp, you will now hit 15 seconds.
Okay, so before I'm gonna have Jacob make the ruling. Before he does, I will remind I'll remind Jokers. Remember, Jokers, you have the power to if you feel this round did not go in your favor, you have the chance to do a do-over with it. It's your fault.
I think it went fantastically.
Okay, Jacob, ruling.
I'm going with Phil.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's tied up 4-4. See how expedient that was? All right.
Time to flip the coin.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Damocles.
Okay, next one's for all the marbles.
Wow.
Playing for marbles?
Yeah, we're playing for Squid Game marbles, so you know the stakes of that.
Oh, gosh.
I'm gonna raise
Oh.
those stakes. We're playing Men in Black marbles,
Oh God.
Oh, that's even worse.
right?
That's the universe.
Yes. That's several universes, Phil.
That's a medium cut.
Yes.
Like the question though is like, are they in a locker?
Well, don't that just gets lame when they did the locker. We don't have time to focus on that right now. So,
I know. I'm just saying, like,
no, you're right. I agree. Yep, you're right. Okay. All right. Tiki, you want to go with a Disney history question, or do you want to go with like a certain character you were bringing up to me recently?
Let's do history.
Okay. All right.
Moment of silence for Wilma Navratil.
Yeah. Everyone salute. Pour one out.
Okay, we did that. All right, now.
was that one of the
Okay.
bots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Das
We
Vidania.
salute you,
He's friends
Das
with
Vidania, Wilma.
Wilma.
God.
Okay.
Oh my
So-
god!
I just came up with a really dark Flintstones joke, but now is not the time for it. So we're gonna move on. So who was the best of the 9 old men?
Oh, there we go. I'm glad we got to this question. All right.
Yeah. Like I realize that there are 9 options on this one.
oh, there's that math again.
I know. I stink at it, but it's just as math I can do.
Technically, this could have also been a wheel question.
It could.
I'm gonna go with Mark Davis.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Joker's has Mark Davis.
it's a good one.
Yeah, you're right. He's one of the 9 good ones.
One
It's
down.
not the 9 good men.
Oh, this is a tough
Are you
one.
saying there are some members of the 9 old men who are not so good, Tiki?
No, I'm saying all the members of the 9 old men are beyond good.
They're the 9 acceptable men.
They're the
They're
9
not-
adequate men.
They're not the 9 so-so men. They're the 9 old men.
Nine young.
Who did you say? Jokers. Who'd you say?
Mark Davis. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with Milt Call.
Okay. Milt Call.
Milt
All right.
Call versus Mark Davis.
Yeah.
Round
The
5.
eternal battle.
All right. Dazzle me with Davis, Jokers.
Okay. So Mark Davis is probably like one of the most well-known ones.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I just noticed that it wasn't going.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're
Go
good.
ahead.
Thank you. So Mark Davis is one of the most well-known ones. Obviously, what he did with animation was fantastic between like Maleficent, Aurora, like all those, Tinkerbell. But I think one of his other like really great, huge contributions was the Disney parks. Without Mark Davis, the parks would absolutely not be where they are today. So he's very invaluable to the evolution of the parks and the evolution of theme park design in general, really. I just think he's a really cool guy. He's a swell fella. And I like his animation. I like his everything.
All right. Well, Milt Call. I'm gonna give you guys 2 words about this, and that is chin waggle. Milt Call was known among the other animators for doing his famous chin waggle, where he would draw these characters kind of shaking their head from side to side while talking, and he imbued so much personality, and the other animators were aware that they couldn't really keep up with his skills. He was flexing his muscles. He made all these impressive characters that we all still love today.
I mean, while Milt Call was impressive for doing the chin waggle, I think Mark Davis was definitely more well-rounded and has done a ton of like very famous characters, and he really gave life to a lot of these characters. But again, he also did a ton for the parks. He was really good at like gags and stuff like that too.
I think it all comes back to the movies. You got characters like Shere Khan, and the Sheriff of Nottingham and Madame Medusa, and so those characters are just in everyone's minds, and that's what gave life to the parks. So for me, it's Milt.
All right.
I do like that alliteration. For me, it's Milt.
Make mine melt. In fact, I'll have me a patty melt.
Okay. Tiki, who
Yeah.
did it better?
This is pretty cut and dry for me. I'm gonna have to say Jokers. Honestly, as far as the character animation goes, I think both Frank and Ollie have more distinct styles than Milt does. The chin waggle thing is great. Don't get me wrong; it is a very distinctive, style of Milt calls. But I think Frank and Ollie just have their characters are just legendary. So and Joker's just it's hard to argue with Mark Davis just because he was so influential to the parks. And that's like a big feather in his cap. So, yeah.
I almost went with Frank Thomas for that reason.
It'd be weird. It'd be hard to choose between Frank or Ollie, though.
Exactly. That was
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I would.
agree.
I probably lean towards Frank myself personally.
So
But yeah.
I mean, though, honestly, you can't really have one without the other.
No, I know, but I'm just saying if you had to pick in a debate context, I would pick Frank. But
Yeah, me too. I would. I mean, Frank Thomas. Think about what he's. Frank Thomas was the villain guy. That's the thing.
Right, exactly.
Johnson
Yeah.
was the perfect side character guy with Mr. Smee, for example.
Mhm,
Great job there. But then again, Frank Thomas, Captain. They made a wonderful pair, though. That's the thing. You pair them together, they're magic. Anyway, it's a gush fest on Frank and Ollie.
And they also did Baloo and Mowgli, too.
I know. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They're a duo, man. A duo. Okay, we're just gonna backpedal there. All right, so we're at the end of our merry game. Players, did you have a good time?
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah, good time.
Dickie, can we redress the set? Do you think?
yes, sorry, my bad.
Time for a coin flip.
No. No.
To the vintage style thumbnails.
Yes. All right, so Phil, I mean, your first debate. You scared off by it all? I mean, you can be honest because it's at the end now.
No, I'm not scared off.
All right, that's good.
I'm still here, aren't I?
Yeah, well,
I
we
mean, I
want
think
to.
it's impressive that you came back from a 2 to 4 to 4-4, because speed rounds can be really tricky. So
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this. There was a coin flip involved.
okay.
Yep. Much like life, sometimes it all comes down to a coin flip.
Okay. I
right.
feel like the real lesson we learned is that the real friends are the coin flips that we meet along the way.
Yeah, you're right.
What does that
I
even
agree.
mean?
I think
I
I
flip a
butchered that
coin.
paraphrasing.
I think you did.
I
think
flip
I
a
did.
coin every time I meet someone new just to decide. If
I think it's like the new friends we meet along the way,
Hey,
or it could be a
what
coin
would you
flip.
guys have done if there had been a tie? How do you break a tie?
Oh, we go into kind of like a sudden death, like we have another question in the waiting, so we just.
Has there ever been a tie?
Well, yeah, we just had.
Yeah, I
one.
was gonna say I don't think there can possibly be a
Yeah,
tie.
like 5-5.
I'm saying
I
what you
mean.
just had was essentially it was kind of
Well,
tied
yeah,
up, and
but
then we
what-
broke that tie. So
Well, yeah, it's tied up as in 4-4. The game is
But
to get
let's
to
pretend-
5, not to
Let's
4.
pretend I
yeah,
had
that's the.
if I had flipped that special coin and gotten heads, it would still be tied. So what would you have done then?
Wait,
Wait, no, that wouldn't have mattered because at the end, someone would have won. We wouldn't have had.
Someone would have
had a
gotten the
tie at
5 first, Phil, is
Yeah.
what we're saying.
I think the question I'm really asking is, what was the bonus question that is waiting in the wings that we didn't?
Yeah,
get?
we can do another one.
That's what I wanted to know.
I mean, do you want to do that round just for
No, I don't
fun?
want
Sugars, I'm
I don't-
trying to finish up the project.
Okay, then perhaps
Okay.
that is not the best on the fly idea. Okay, well, I'll tell you what the other one was.
That's
You'll
all I was
know.
asking. Yes, that's all I was asking.
Okay, it was a question in relation to Pete. About basically who is Pete's better foil, Mickey or Goofy?
Okay.
Oh,
That's a good question, actually.
Yep, that
interesting,
was the quick draw. It was going to be a quick
Right.
draw, but anyway. So thanks for coming on, Phil. Thanks for filling at the last minute, Jokers, even though you were
Yeah.
offered in the first place. But thank you for showing up.
you did a great job, Jokers. I tip my hat to you, sir.
Thank you. You did great too.
It's a nice hat, Phil. Where'd you get it?
I was born with it.
At the
He got the
Haberdish.
hat off the pirate and the Pirates of the Caribbean dragon. He's got one foot on the dock and another foot on the rocky boat. It's like Joshua Thomas. All right, I'm done.
Now that's the deepest cut of all. See you, folks.
I know.
And thus we've come full circle.
Go home. Bye.
The friends
Get out.
are the deep cuts that we make along the way.
Get out.